Greetings. It is Osunfemi here with all in the cards. We're going to get into this week's energy. The Nine of Diamonds, the nine finishing the full week of August, the month of August. Um, the month of August is a Jack of Clubs month and is also the supporter or the pusher of this week, the Nine of Diamonds card, as it sits in the life spread. So, um, great support in how we are finishing off the month is going to be happening this week. Finishing with the nine period is just like great endings. So, let's just hop right into it. The Nine of Diamonds sits Uranus, Mars in the life spread. So Uranus is ooh, so much Uranus energy for me, but Uranus is the evolution and the revolution and the expansion, um, the undeniable and also the unrecognizable. It's the future, quote unquote. You know, it is the now and the now and the now and the now. Always revealing, right? Definitely unexpected turns of events can happen, good, bad, ugly, indifferent, all of the things. Uranus keeps you on your toes, and Mars is that kind of forceful, passionate, desirable, desirous, that's a word, type of energy. So, prominent Nine of Diamonds, we know plenty of them. Barack Obama, um, Steph Curry. It's either Steph Curry or his wife. One of them is a Nine of Diamond, one is a King of Clubs. Anyway, Kanye West, 50 Cent, Kevin Hart, Tia and Tamara. Lots of Nine of Diamond energy. So you can kind of just take that understanding, any kind of understanding of what you have for those people, those individuals, and apply it to this week. That could be pretty cut and dry. But if you're needing more, you're wanting more, and to delve into the signs, continue on with this video, and I'll break it down. So this is also come. Well, let me add more to the Nine of Diamonds. Super creative. Um, it can be the endings or graduation of things diamonds, right? So foundations, up leveling, which means once you up level, you're gonna have to end something, right? Because you don't graduate and still keep going to the same school. You have to end your time there. So endings and upgrades in your values, your foundations, your money, right? Money could be being spent out a lot this week. The Nine of Diamonds urges you to know that that money is in your account for that particular reason, to not um, be dismayed. Don't be dismayed, okay? It's investments. Investments. And it's compatible with the Nine of Pentacles. The Nine of Pentacles, the fruits of your labor, rewards, luxury, self-sufficiency. Oh, I got on a garment similar to this. Financial independence, right? So giving that earth energy, that Virgo energy, which we are in right now. Okay, and if you happen to see this outside of August 25th to August 31st, I believe, 2020, 2025, then you are attracting Nine of Diamonds energy, and you should listen to know more about why you're attracting that. Okay, so the Nine of Diamonds this year on the United States spread, for all of us living in the United States and for all of the folks who are influenced by United States decisions and culture, right? Because we have a huge culture here that is very influential. The Nine of Diamonds is sitting in Jupiter, sitting with the Ten of Diamonds. It's a lot of attention. It's it's abundance, right? It's just a lot of energy, attention. It could be wealth, money, all of the things. It's the things that we hold valuable. So your attention is valuable. Where you place your attention this week is going to be very valuable and pivotal to how you are expanding in your own world and your own atmosphere. Um, and of course, flowing into the Ten of Diamonds week, so on and so forth. So this has much to do with how we are going to reap our harvest season. The Mercury card for the Nine of Diamonds on the United States spread is the Four of Diamonds. So as the Four of Diamonds, I'm here coming to you, bringing this mercurial message. The message itself is mercurial, right? To share. Okay. I'm saying a few things. Um, oh, yes. Okay, this makes sense. So it's a lot of goddess energy. I posted on my all my platforms, I believe, but definitely Instagram about the card for goddess. And that card is the Eight of Spades. So I'm sitting with the Eight of Spades this week, but also the Nine of Diamonds. Week transforms into the Eight of Spade goddess energy. Also, for life, the life spread, the Eight of Spade transforms into the Nine of Diamonds. So it's a lot of goddess energy around. Hence why this deck spoke to me. This is the confirmation, the assistance cards that I will be using the African Goddess Rising Oracle to assist and back up some of the energy that is coming through for the cards, um, the tarot, and yes. So a lot of goddess energy. I guess this one, okay. A lot of goddess energy. Definitely step into and embrace that. Okay, so for the Mercurials, for Mercury, for how we will be conducting our conversations, engaging with one another, for Geminis and for Virgos, we have the infamous Seven of Spades. The Seven of Spades, oof, holds a lot of energy. So dynamic. I was actually thinking about them maybe 2 nights ago because I was watching Bobby Brown, who's a Seven of Spades, sing with I can't remember his name right now, but the brother from Boys to Men, and he was on a guitar and they were singing Tenderoni. And I looked I was in the comments, and they were just like so happy for Bobby and all he's overcome and him still being alive, and you know, just kind of how that bad boy image transformed into this moment of him allowing dang, I can't remember his name, allowing the Boys to Men brother to have his moments as he's playing the guitar so beautifully, and like just that dynamic. I was like, wow, that's so interesting. And I instantly, like, another Seven of Spades popped into my head, which is Kevin What's his name? Kevin. Oh my gosh. Kevin, he's a rapper. Y'all might be able to help me in the comments. Kevin, I keep thinking Samuels. It ain't Samuels. He's a rapper. Kevin. Oh my gosh. I can't remember his name, but I'm sure somebody knows who I'm talking about. It ain't too many rappers named Kevin, right? So he's a seven of spades as well. I'm thinking of just kind of how he was in the media some point this summer, right, with his divorce and his separation from his Muslim relationship, but also from his legal marriage. And that kind of bad boy image and things that Bobby had. Anyway, that's a whole tangent, but that also tells you a bit about the seven of spades. And it's holds a big spiritual seat of wisdom, right? So a lot of stories to tell, a lot of things that they have experienced and witnessed, um, a lot of merging of the spiritual and mundane realms, a lot of lessons to share, um, deep, deep wisdom. But this also encompasses an energy around faith, right? Faith and gratitude and perseverance, um, like having the faith of a mustard seed. This also deals with accidents and fires and really slowing down to listen deeper, 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 deeper to what spirit has to say, right? So all things mercurial should definitely take heed to slowing down the motion and hearing what spirit is really communicating to them, on their behalf, because otherwise accidents and things of the sort can ensue. Um, Accidents, fires, even water. Water is a big energy here because, yeah. Um, okay. The tarot card here is the Seven of Wands. Speaks of challenges, competition, protection, perseverance. Yeah, I just said that. Defense, maintaining control. Hmm. Yeah, maintaining control. See how he's trying to forcefully do things. Look at that look on his face, right? Some forceful work. But this is also about faith. It's not just about strong arm and will. This is alignment, deep, deep alignment. And the assistant, the confirming energy that we have is Queen Nefertiti. This alchemy, right? Alchemizing situations that you may find yourself in, right? There's like two different statues, and here is alchemy happening right in the middle with the sun. The sun energy is shining in between these two pillars of energy, of knowledge. And she's royal, she's regal. Alchemizing energy, right? All right. There's so much. Y'all know that my mind be going 1,000 miles a minute, but alchemize, right? The situations you may find yourself in your conversations for Geminis and for Virgos, alchemy, right? Alchemy, putting this and this together to create something new, right? Even if it's a challenge, a situation, a problem, what can you create from this? All right, the Venus card, the point of attraction, of love, of desire, of friendship, intimacy, money, some money involved there as well. Um, we have the Two of Clubs, conversations. And Venus just went into Leo. And I just had a conversation, conversation with a Leo, right? So yeah, conversations, debates, Two of Clubs can get into some arguments. There can also be a lot of fear that is held within this Two of Clubs energy. Um, very performative, big energy, but also having the Ace of Spades karma card, very connected to spirit, very connected behind the veil, right? If you take your time, if you heed to this Uranus Saturn position, right, things will be revealed. But it is simply put as conversations. The tarot is the Two of Swords. Difficult decisions, weighing options, avoidance. That's the fear, right? And being at a deadlock. And you can see that they are sitting there at the water, waves of emotions, blindfolded, but armed, not knowing who to slay, or anything like that. So, yeah, the Two of Clubs energy could be very fearful. So just slow down, take a breather, take a breath, get in nature, right? Because this card can be transformed, can be alchemized via nature. So definitely get outside, ground yourself, get a little playful even. The supporting energies here are feeling safe. Oh, and look at her, all up in nature. Nature, nature, nature. Feel safe, feeling safe, right? It's kind of like this portal that is behind her, but there's also this book of what? Is it a journal? Is it of mysteries? Um, and she's definitely outside and grounding. Of course, I saw these cards, but I didn't necessarily line them up with everything that they were aligning with. So this is very beautiful for the Two of Clubs. Get to a point where you feel safe in your own body, in your own spirit, in your own mind, right? Really has nothing to do with the other person. They can definitely try to penetrate, but you have to make your space safe. And if a boundary gets thrown up, then that is what will happen. But feeling safe in your own body is important this week. And also, feeling safe for what? Wow. We have awakening, Yemaya, birthing. So feeling safe enough to awaken, right? To birth something new. Again, this water energy. She's got her feet in the water and her head and crown to the sky, impregnated with something. She needs to feel safe in order to birth this. And we already talked about graduations. Birth is another form of a graduation, right? Deep down in here with the mysteries, which is what I was saying about that Ace of Spades, that behind the veil like energy. It's all very much aligning with Two of Clubs, the depths of the Two of Clubs, right? Can't forget about the dolphins here, that intuitive energy. So, yes, Libras, this is Libras and Taurus energy. Y'all can have the desire and the need to feel safe. All right, Mars. Mars, this is for the actions we'll take, how we take action, the things we desire. This is also for Aries and Scorpios. This energy is the King of Clubs. The King of Clubs sits Uranus, Uranus. And so it can be a lot of unpredictable, unexpected energy that takes place for Aries and Scorpios. A lot of trying to find their balance, but it can also be a showcase of what's to come, the new normal or the new now, for these people in particular, even for your work, the new normal, it is presenting itself. And Mars rules so many things, right? This ambitious, fiery work ethic, actionable steps, sex, so many different things, right? So, King of Clubs is a dominant force in that arena. To have it as a Mars card is very dominant. It's domineering, even. Excuse me, ruling over mental capacity and the dexterity of the mind, but it's like rulership of the mind. It's masterminding, right? Very tactical and strategic and wisdom, yes. Yes. This can also deal with, in terms of women, powerful women as well. There's a lot of King of Clubs women, um, very beautiful women. Where am I going with this? Uranus just took me for a little ride. Um, okay, I'm back. This is correlating with the King of Swords. You see how kind of stoic that energy is, head over heart, disciplined, truthful, honest, mental clarity, authority. Yeah, all of those things. All of those things. Very much head over heart, very mental. It's got to make sense. Analytical type of energy is what folks are going to be bringing to the workplace, to their work, um, to the bedroom, all those kinds of things. All right, moving right along. The card here we have is Divine Lineage. So as Aries and Scorpios kind of get this headstrong like energy, it should be aligning, will be aligning with your divine lineage. And maybe even some of the promises, remembering, recalling, stepping into, and embodying the promises that you made as part of your ancestral connection and being brought forth through a particular lineage, right? That divine lineage coming through and working in a powerful way. Again, more water like energy, but look at that power, look at that force. And it also speaks to, yeah, the emotions are behind me. The emotions are behind me. What's ahead of me now is the plan, right? This is what we're going to do. The emotions are there, the water is there, the cup is full. But these are just, signs on how to pave a path forward. All right, the Jupiter card for the Nine of Diamonds week for Sagittariuses, for the expansion, for the abundance. in our lives this week, for the knowledge, for the wisdom, for the traveling. Let's see. And that is prosperity chiming in as I'm talking about Jupiter. Okay, yeah, slight interruption. Prosperity was calling in while we were talking about Jupiter and the expansion. And the card that is there for Sagittarius energy as well is the Jack of Diamonds. This entrepreneurial, futuristic energy. Now, I personally have been paying attention to that word future ever since I kind of talked about it on social media in terms of now, the power of now, what the card is for now, what the card is for the past, what the card is for future, and what that really means. That keeps coming up. So even as I'm saying this is a futuristic type of energy, they hold a deep understanding of what is to come, how things are evolving and shifting because it sits Neptune, Uranus, or excuse me, Uranus, Neptune, to kind of have that look into how things are pivoting, right? And they're usually the people that help pivot things. So it's very creative, very uh, a lot of ingenuity, a lot of creativity, and it correlates with the Nine of Pentacles. Excuse me, the Knight of Pentacles. I think I need some food. My energy is getting low. But yeah, hard work, productivity, routine, conservation, efficiency, and responsibility. I love all those words for the Jack of Diamonds, but it's also unconventional the way they do things, especially in relationship and in love life. It's sometimes can be hard to understand. And again, this is also the card for the United States. So the United States is sitting Jupiter this week. So we can expect some big things to be taking place this week. And the assisting card here is desire. Desire. And they have that bow, and she has that bow and arrow, just like Sagittarius does, having their eye on something and want to shoot that and make connection very soon. So think bigger, think wider, tap into self and the ancestral energy. Think bigger and then cast your bow. Yeah, because she's sitting here holding planets. She got three sets of hands. That's three. That's Jupiter. Phases of the moon. She got planetary. She got planet. Like, yeah, this is think bigger. Sagittarius is even as y'all are already so expansive. Think bigger in regards to your desires, the things you actually want in your life. There's more for you, and that's a beautiful thing. All right, moving right along. We have the Saturn card. Saturn card is ruling Capricorn, um, and the structures, the societal structures, lessons, um, hard work, the challenges, the strain, the fears, um, the things we must learn in order to push forward. And that is around the Four of Hearts. The Four of Hearts deals a lot with family, and family is really big for Nine of Diamonds energy. Um, a lot of family like business and participation, working with family is big. Um, but it can also represent some hard dynamics, some hard shifts in how families operate and things of the sort. So, an ancestral lineage and legacy is going to be important to the longevity, right? So there can be some family things that pop up, some ancestral conversations that need to be had. Again, we already brought up a card around what was it, divine lineage. Even though that applied to the King of Clubs as the Mars card, that card is still in play, right, for the whole week. So, divine lineage, how are you servicing your lineage? It also correlates to the Four of Cups energy. As you can see, they sitting on a hill under a tree. That tree, the family tree, right? They're sitting on a hill, which is you're elevated. You're the elevated person in the family tree because you are on this side of the earth and under the earth, or even in the astral realms or the spirit realms, right? Meditation, contemplation, apathy, reevaluation, disconnected. Yeah, you can definitely feel disconnected from family as well with um, this being the Saturn card for the Nine of Diamonds, because I mean, you can just think about some of the people that I have named, right? Barack Obama, even though his children were with him in the White House, the demand of that type of position and career, the demand of um, Kevin Hart's career and what he has to put into his business and organizations, and even 50 Cent and music and the television work, like it takes a lot. It takes a lot. But also, look at that cup. You're looking at these three, but there's also being another cup that's offered, right? Another perspective, another opportunity. Um, and the supportive card here is the Seven Sisters, creativity. And creativity. Um, it's often wondered, were there really seven sisters or were they just one person? Was it just one person with a multitude of things that they dibbled and dabbled into, right? But you can definitely tell there's some spiritual work. There's some different, the energies are different here. The candles are lit. Um, they got their beads on. New Orleans is popping in here. Um, but creativity, the foundations of creativity, like when you have those separations. Who is this for? Capricorn, Capricorns, and just as we dive into our legacy, thinking about legacy this week, um, there's partnerships here, there's creativity here, there is. I feel like I'm getting lost in the spirit realm again, which really makes sense because this card sits Neptune, Mercury, and I'm feeling like, whoosh, kind of overtaken a little bit, but leaning on your ancestral guides. leaning on your ancestral guides for opportunities of creativity and collaboration. Okay, got that out. The Uranus card. Let me take a sip. The Uranus card for Aquariuses and Leos, and what is being brought forth into the now, right? Because future is being brought forth into the now, is the Four of Diamonds. That's my card. So much to say about the Four of Diamonds. I could write a book, and I just might. It's Neptune, Venus. So it is very much rose-colored glasses and all of the things, but it is also seated in foundations, right? Stability, in wealth, in values, in money, right? And I also want to chime in with this Four of Pentacles, the equivalent. And as you can see, they got money on their head, money on their mind, money, they holding money close to their chest, and then they also have it stepping on it, right? They're stepping on the pentacles. Right. So this kind of adds another aspect to the Four of Diamonds, right? This speaks to saving money and security and conservation. It also speaks to scarcity and control and frugality, being frugal with your money, right? Because it's a four, it's about stability. It wants to be able to maintain and make sure things are covered. This Four of Diamonds in the life spread, though, also has these two fives as karmas. So things are always going to be fluctuating. And so it is not always going to be about trying to hold on for dear life to things. Things have to shift and move to continue to reveal um, and to evolve, right? The supporting card here is scarcity. Scarcity. So scarcity can be popping up for folks, right? Because the Uranus is unpredictable. You don't know when it's going to come in and shift things. You can be faced with opportunities where you are having to deal with worth, and again, remember I talked about at the beginning the Nine of Diamonds being willing to spend money, invest money in things that will happen to just kind of pop up, whether it's in regards to your family, whether it's in regards to your car, um, just unexpected bills and things will pop up with the Nine of Diamonds because it has this Four of Diamonds in Uranus. It's going to want you to break free, right? Uranus is break free from this kind of scarcity. Don't be holding it so tight. That's what it's there for, right? Remembering the nine is about graduating. It is giving. It is the giving and the receiving at the same time. So opportunities around your wealth consciousness and your scarcity consciousness, right, can be popping up for folks this week um, at interesting times. So be mindful of that. This card also speaks to there being so much more, right? There being so much more to um, just to what you see. There's more. Um, it's not it's not just this. So what? You have to spend this. So what? You have to invest this. This energy is super creative. Matter of fact, I want to just read just a quick part of that passage just to drill it in. Look, so much more. You have so much more than you realize. You have access to unlimited joy, love, good times, pleasure, and prosperity. Be grateful for your riches. Riches are meant to be recycled, to be used. Stop going to the ocean and asking for a thimble full of water. All right. I'm not going to read all of it, but just those couple little points. All right. The Neptune card. So this is for Pisces energy and also the things unseen or unclear, or we kind of have our intuitive senses about. It's going to be in regards to the Two of Spades, which deals with relationships, and compromise. Um, the duality of things. It can also be kind of Libra-ish, people pleasing type of energy. We're really wanting to be something else. So, um, but it's how we deal in relationships, the wisdom that comes from that and applying it. But it's in Neptune, so it's like it could be a little elusive. So what could be also a little elusive this week is the Two of Wands. The Two of Wands. Planning and progress, making decisions, discovery, leaving home, travel plans. They can be a little elusive this week. It could just pop up out of nowhere. Kind of like how, Uranus can pop up out of nowhere, but Neptune is like not necessarily out of nowhere. It's something that's brewing spiritually and even unconsciously, subconsciously as well. Um, Also, because these cards, this Neptune card, the Neptune card in general sits between Uranus, the unexpected, and Pluto, the subconscious and unconscious energy. And it's also Neptune, so it's very deep. It's very, very deep. Um, so yeah, even plans with your friends, this energy of togetherness, love, relationships, they can all seem a little elusive right now. Um, the supportive energy here is grounding. Speaking of Neptune, grounding, grounding. It's not necessarily a very grounded energy. So intentionally grounding yourself, um, again, in nature. Look at that. The sun's going down or coming up. Some early morning walks or some sunset walks, right? Things can begin to make more sense as you are balancing the dynamics of relationships this week, which you will be because you have that Two of Clubs in Venus and this Two of Spades in Neptune. Net relationships are going to be very key this week. All right. Pluto, Scorpio energy. The challenges, again, the unconscious, the subconscious type of energy, the things that are really wanting to come to the forefront is having to do with the Eight of Hearts. The Eight of Hearts is about presence. It is about your face card, making sure you are present, letting, oh, the time, 20%. Okay, we almost done. You're being present, making yourself, putting yourself in positions to be felt physically, but more so like energetically, like both, really. Physically, you can see me, you could touch me, not that you need to, but right, you will be much more understood when you are present in the space in full capacity. This also deals with the power dynamics of relationships. This can also be a bully. Y'all know some of the people I mentioned who are Nine of Diamonds, they can be a little bullish, a lot of bullish, and sometimes their bullying can be funny. Um, and sometimes it's not. And sometimes it's a harsh truth, you know, and sometimes it's not. So there's that, and companion with the Eight of Cups, and they are walking away from their cups. In tarot, it speaks to disappointment, abandonment, withdrawal, escapism, walking away, leaving behind. I agree with the escapism because this card does sit in Neptune. So it can be the Eight of Hearts. I know some Eight of Hearts people, they can have some escapism tendencies, escapist tendencies, right? But it's not solely meant to, you know, this is kind of a Delulu energy sitting be Neptune, Jupiter, you know, what you dream about, you know, what you visualize, you know, what you daydream about can really expand your world, your realm. So I would like for us to look at it in that way, to use our imagination in the best ways possible. But again, it's in Pluto, so it's challenging your imagination. Are you Delulu in a way that it can actually be conceptualized and come to fruition? Or is this just completely like, no? Then again, that's what Delulu is. The support here is brazen. Brazen. She's carrying the harvest on her head, right? Look at all, that's a lot of harvest. It's a waterfall. We got the train moving. We have the river is flowing. She's even got an overflow, right? An overflow of fruit that's dropping out of her basket, and she's dancing, you know. This is a very bold, present energy pushing forward.